Oh, that's it. Oh, is that actually that Team Mystic team right now? Seeing that Graham is also having TM in front of his name as a real nick. So it might be that, not Team Mystic. Jesus Christ, Team Mystic, that's Age of Mythology clan with TM short. Well, there we go. No, finally. And you can see why. Either they just started, or I don't know. Well, so there we go. Game is gonna be coming up. Okay, that's already a home map. So they play at minimum second game. So I don't know. Maybe they were just taking such a long break after the first game. Could be. Yeah, they just started. Yeah, maybe they were actually literally taking 10 minutes to start. It's not impossible. So. Of course, you're also having right now the bonus here at the very start. Bash Adeli, yes it is. Similar RTS League. And similar thought behind it. These are the best team tournaments or community tournaments in general as well. So, can we finally get in also a bit deeper? Or having some actual look on the game. But still not can't be controlling it too much, and it's start of the arena, so luckily we're not gonna be missing anything at all. So let's also on Twitch let people know that we are streaming this. Argentina G, and on the other side it's gonna be UK and E. Okay, so let's therefore have a look what kind of map we have and what's gonna be going on all around in the Civilisations and stuff. As we are in for the first arena so far of the qualifications that I have at least streamed, as there are obviously more matches already in the tournament that I haven't done. There are just like way too many, so I'm not like even aiming for some full coverage, so basically streaming as the games go and as they come, as this is gonna be PotatoBro for United Kingdom E. These letters are gonna be quite a bit of a pain, because plenty of the teams are gonna be streaming like once, right? And just gonna have to remember what the letters are. So this is UKE and Argentina G. Okay. Oh well, hopefully I'm gonna be able to somewhat remember that. But therefore UKE, that's gonna be PotatoBro with Spanish on the flank. Now we can probably expect what's gonna happen here, therefore. Conquistadors galore very soon. Kinda stupid gold for that. But at least the second is gonna be alright, so in case something bad happens in the early stages to his gold, some kind of trash or whatnot, which probably could be coming, it would be a definitely good idea from DM Graham. So I'm hoping he's gonna be doing so. He's getting a boar, and yeah, he's a pole. That's gonna be a trash 100%. Because obviously, not only because of these being pole, but because it's lately meta in the team games to be going trashing on Arena. How the times have changed. How the times have changed in the years. Remember Arena where basically trashing was a bit of a meme strategy, and you have seen it maybe like once in a full year. But today, it's fairly common. But yeah, but the Polish are especially turbo suitable for that, which therefore is gonna be quite a bit of a complication for PotatoBro, and he's gonna be having to therefore rely on the back gold, because the front is most probably therefore gonna be denied. As in the pocket he's gonna be having Maashaw, and he's gonna be playing with Teutons. Yeah, I guess some classic paladins probably from him. Or will it be paladins? Because it could be just some kind of siege and halberdiers and teutonics and whatever along those lines. Bombard towers possibly later. As his teammates, let's gonna look at the resources, as both of the gold mines will be alright, with even the stone. By the way, the stone for the Spanish was okay. Yeah, that's pretty safe, no problem. Next pocket for the British will be there for Mankaur, playing with the Cumans. Messi should be expecting some kind of early advance into feudal age. Excellent gold mines. Stone mine is going to be a bit challengeable, but he's in the pocket, so maybe not too likely to be attacked too early. As the last player will be Mattaphract, and he's gonna be playing with the Turks. They actually have fairly solid civilizations and strong overall setup right now. The United Kingdom Dudos. So let's see if it's gonna be working well for them as well as he expecting. But he's also gonna be susceptible potentially to trash. You can see the gold mines definitely do suck to... If he's gonna be trashed, and he maybe could be losing both of the gold mines, and that's kind of game over for him. It's not too great, because you can see that even the secondary gold is only here in the front. Doesn't have anything between him and his teammate. So unless you will be sharing, for example, with Mankaur therefore after, yeah, that could be a complication. With stone mine, at least gonna be fine. Against him on the flank is gonna be Korean. No, I just can't help it. This is gonna be like double trash on the sides from the Argentinians for TM. Team Masvi, right now remembered how they're called. Because this is like long-term confusion for me. As I said, there's a clan in Age of Mythology that is also TM. It's called Team Mystic, but this is Team Masvi here in Age of Empires 2. Just like few years old, like maybe 3 years, maybe 2, 3. It's fairly new. Unless they were having some history elsewhere, but I'm not aware of that, at least myself personally. As therefore that's gonna be FunkeF. He's gonna be playing with a good gold. Stone, bit tricky, but since he's gonna be expected to be the aggressive one, you can see there's already the stone gathering. That's not an issue. Secondary gold, sure. Somewhat normal. Batto in the middle is gonna be playing with Mongols.
Servidora.
Ay, that idle time in there. When you actually having the start this way, and every kind of second like that is actually going to be quite a bit detrimental to your overall efforts. But it shouldn't be too problematic. Hopefully his teammates are gonna be able to buy him plenty of time anyway. To get set up, 40C boom, whatever like that. But frankly, if they're gonna be having good trash, he could be maybe trying to even rush in the castle age with an early castle and Mangurai straight into the base. We'll see. It's gonna be depending on the success of FunkeF in my opinion. As the other pocket for the Argentinians will be Bushido. Playing with Bengalis. No, it's interesting Sif. What he's gonna be trying to do? Is it gonna be Ratas? Or is it gonna be something else? Yeah, it can be theoretically. We have seen Bengalis going elephant archers fairly commonly lately. At least in the games that I have seen. And that I have streamed. But in general, Ratas would be also an interesting idea for him. Gold mine somewhat sucks. Secondary and stone are gonna be okay. No, and the last player there for TM Gram with the Polish, we have already seen him before. Challenging gold, but otherwise the stone and the gold are gonna be fine. And you can see, yet again, I mean, like at this point he's gonna be also happy to be gathering the gold, stone for the gold, for the advances, even though you can see he's pushing it forward. So that's maybe actually making it a bit questionable if this is gonna be trash. Unless it will be trash combined with early archers. Not sure. Jesus Christ. Hoping I'm not gonna be forgetting about the confetti. Every single game I forget about it right after. That stupid somehow automatically activated mod. Gonna be having to look into it to disable it for the next games. But I always forget. So is there some kind of movement here? Almost actually feels to me, no, this is gonna be a good secondary wall in, but it almost feels to me that maybe Gram is not necessarily aiming for that. And can see right now, yeah, Market and Blacksmith, he's gonna be therefore heading into just like straight knights, therefore with straight knights with Šlechta. You can see also right now, Orange is not attacking. I'm disappointed. I was so damn sure this is gonna be actually trash on both sides, and frankly it would have been a good idea. And to be honest, maybe they're gonna be coming into rue their decision not to do that, because they're gonna be facing therefore Spanish and Turks on the flanks with undisturbed gameplay, and you don't want to be really doing that too often. That's very dangerous decision right now by Argentina G. So that might be coming in to cost them actually. No, we'll see if it's gonna be the reality or not. Before we actually get somewhere, since there's not gonna be a kind of early action, just some kind of horse races here between the scouts, that's usually not entirely too much important or interesting. Maybe you can be at least looking at the civilization draft. Map draft I'm not gonna be showing you because again, don't want to be spoiling you the score currently. So that there's gonna be at least some suspense for you. No, for me not, because I have seen the map, so I don't know who's actually leading in the match. But let's therefore do the draft. For the civilizations, you can see right now we do have Hindustani Gurjaras band, Bohemians, Britons, no, fairly powerful civs. As expected, somewhat, and Mayans and Lithuanians also sniped. Yeah, just getting rid of the most powerful civilizations in the game practically. then there's something outstanding on either side. Not like too much. Kind of like in the draft on the left side. Seems to be a bit stronger for the Argentinians, for Mankaur. Or sorry, Mankaur is actually the British. So that's the UKE. They're gonna be having better draft. In my opinion, yeah. They're having better draft there. Slightly better civilizations. Not like these are gonna be completely useless for Batto and the Argentinians, but I can kind of feel a bit of more strength here with Franks, Portuguese, Burgundians, Spanish right now, the Turks, Aztecs, Teutons, Huns. Kind of feel a bit more usefulness in that in general. As for the other team, it's not like too terrible. They definitely do have some good civilizations there as well. But no, especially looking at the arena, I'm thinking that the choices are fairly cool for especially the UK team. But alright, Imperial Age, oh well, is gonna be actually going for the fast Imperial Age with the Turk. So actually, only in the latest meta, I do see way more often going for the Castle Age push with the Turks, rather than going for the fast Imp necessarily. We're gonna be maybe on the Black Forest. There are commonly actually hand cannoneers coming up from the Turks on the flanks. So on the other hand, the fast Imp is more common on Black Forest. But on the arena, I have seen some Castle Age pushes a bit more. But that's maybe also influenced by the fact that we have also a bit more commonly seen the Trashes. So it's gonna, I guess, depending what kind of types of games I'm watching. And types of players I'm assuming. That's also gonna be a part of it, with a fairly defensive setup for the castle for Korean. And let's therefore have a look on the booms. So we do have 2 TCs for the Korean so far. And he's getting right now Fletching, but not any entirely too many new units. No, he doesn't have the economy for that too much. But he wants to be getting some army up. Whereas in the middle, Batto will be having so far 3 TCs for the Mongol. Would be nice to get even a 4th one somewhere down the line. 4 TCs for Bushido with the Bengalis. And the last player, that's gonna be the Polish. He does have right now 1 TC. And he seems to be heading therefore for that 1 TC push into Šlechta and Knights. But if he's gonna be alone without any kind of... No, he does have Šlechta. But if he's gonna be alone, then I'm kinda slightly questioning the idea. I'm not understanding why you would be going alone into it without support by at least one of his teammates, but whatever. Spanish is gonna be classic conquistadors. There we go. Start with that. Already having some kind of small piece of an army. First detachment already coming up. You can see, unfortunately, received quite nasty damage from the castle. Wasn't expecting it to be already there. As the pocket Teuton will be 40 scene. Yes, that's not surprising at all. Secondary wall also coming up. No, and the Cuman, quite of course. 2 TCs, right about now, 3rd one, as he's already freshly into Castle Age. And he's going to be having, of course, 59 villages as the best economy. But Batto is going to be very close at 59 himself. You can see he's doing fairly decent job so far. And that's gonna be the 4th one. Yeah, there it is. So this is actually going to be heading into quite a strong late game in the end with Dead Scout, but in the end that's going to be not mattering too much. Again, just somebody's gonna be collecting a few more relics, which could be interesting if case you have Lithuanians. And otherwise, the longer the game goes, obviously, then the better. The relics are gonna be supplying your resources, so it's kinda nice to be seen that in one of the first games that people actually think about the relics first and foremost. Though it's also kind of like a filler, right? Because you don't have anything else to do here currently, so why not? That's all the way to the south. Now that's looking like a much more promising actually push with even combination. So that's why I'm slightly questioning why Graham is doing this kind of alone. He's gonna be having to also go all across the map, so it's not entirely too handy. And that could be a problem, because therefore Mankaur will be able to supply the units there a bit faster into the battlefield. Okay, there we are. Gonna be having to spend a long time in there. And at the same time also not gathering there for new stone for potentially new castle. But he should be somewhat fine with 1. If, of course, he can be keeping it alive. That's right now the big question. The Turk is gonna be already knocking on his door fairly strongly. As otherwise for the seats of the team, if I've seen it correctly, they're actually fairly close to each other. Argentina G is seat number 118 and UKE is 115. And by the way, the previous match, Netherlands C versus Scotland, it was 116 versus 117, so it somewhat fit in. And it was as close as it was. You can see right now 2 into the defense for the Cuman. And Cannoneers are gonna be having first defense as well, as we do have already good upgrades for the Korean 2 on the attack. No, but unfortunately he's running right now out of stone, because again, he was repairing with the stone miners, and therefore he didn't have too much of a chance, therefore, to get a new one. No, and right now it's catching up with him, as he's probably not gonna be losing a single bombard, but with the knights coming up, that was unfortunately very bad timing, as they just simply didn't coordinate well enough, the Argentinians. What a shame. That could have been actually a fairly solid result if they attacked both at once, and now, without castle, without the chance on a new one, this is turning into a bit of a disaster. So is Purple gonna be able to help? Nah, he's just like freshly getting ready for a castle. And seems like quite a bit of actually emergency session here, because you can see right now the empty farms, so he's right now reacting to the development on the battlefield. And as you can see, he's gonna be there for heading into a big attack, as probably right now the Spanish player is also seeing, together with his British teammates, that this is gonna be a good opportunity, maybe to close the game fairly early. So as you're having so far effectively almost always long games, like 40-50 minutes, then will be kind of funny if just the arena ended up to be in the shortest so far. But so far, good performance here, and again, I'm really thinking they're gonna be maybe having to revisit their ideas, the Argentinians next time on Arena, that they should be trying to go for the trash against especially such civilizations as they were on the flanks for the British, because that's just like such a power if you let them be to do what you want and what they want rather on Arena, that this happens, no? It's like as easy as that. It seems like the British are gonna be having some decent, so far, execution. So on the economies, that's going to be right now FunkeF at 53 villages, 42 for Mattaphract, of course, but the problem is that right now FunkeF was trying to get at least some kind of economy, and now, oh man, he's gonna get so killed here, because he's trying to already run through top. But this is absolute massacre. They can be even letting him run away, it doesn't entirely matter too much and too seriously, as you can see even further reinforcements for green, as Mankaur is gonna be at 20 knights, whereas even Graham is gonna be having only 8, even though he is having actually the discount as the Polish, so that's a bit of a sad story, as seems like it, no, oh, I was going to say that he can be actually standing in the gate to let them in, but they not entirely need it anymore, and apparently we're gonna be making the way out fairly okay anyway. So there we go, you're gonna be therefore ready to leave the orange base, as he managed to escape with about 5 villages. Yep, 5 villages, that's right now literally what he has, FunkeF. He has been absolutely devastated and absolutely removed from the game, so that's an excellent start for United Kingdom E. No, and the armies are getting even stronger for them still. You can see 20 hand cannons and a few bombards on top of it. That's really excellent. Graham is the one with army. You can see Bushido at about 5-8 units. And he's gonna be getting, battle elephants. So he's gonna be there for aiming for, what's the upgrade? Pikes. There's actually funnily a bit of an upgrade that I have kinda not seen too many people upgrade. So I cannot talk about it fairly often, so it's kinda sticking in my mind that it exists for the Bengalis, for the fast attack of the elephant units. Because I often see the Bengalis kinda going for elephants, but in the end not even getting that upgrade, even when they have a castle. So that's somewhat strange, as you can see, you know. Not gonna be holding both of them for too long, it looks to me. As you can see, Mangurai with 3 and 1, actually fairly solid upgrades. As economically, Bushido at 131, 112 for Batto. He's trying to quite correctly right now snipe at least one of them to delay the siege. Otherwise then 48 for Mattaphract, that's okay. Then 114, 119 and 105 for the remaining 3 British. Yeah, they're playing excellently here, and they should be having quite a good time here, especially if it's gonna be basically like a full-on 4 versus currently 3. Because obviously the last player, unfortunately for Team Masvi, is not going to be too much relevant in the game for the next half an hour practically. If he's even actually gonna be having enough place to rebuild somewhere. I've already right now looking on the minimap that he is moving into kind of in between the bases of Batto and Bushido. Because obviously in the bases themselves, they are already kind of filled with farms and everything. Okay, Mankaur, yeah, he's freshly in the Imperial Age. I was kind of looking if he's gonna be imping, because he's having such a large army that it should be fairly easy since he had very limited losses. Currently getting Cavaliers and Last Armor. Batto getting himself Elite Mangurai, as he's also freshly into Imperial Age. No, and next Imperial is gonna be also coming for PotatoBro, that's the Spanish. Whereas, for example, Maashaw looks like he's gonna be playing a bit on his own, trying to basically like bind Gram against him slightly. So that he's not gonna be having such a kind of free reign to go elsewhere. And no, well, and he's gonna be also sending some cavalries that he already has into the main battlefield. So this is going to be maybe even somewhat of a deciding battle, even though that's a lot of units currently for Batto and also Bushido. They are not entirely badly off, Batto having 23 Mangurai, then we do have Bushido with about 20 elephants. So that's gonna be a bit of a good power, and therefore where is Mattaphract? No, he did lose most of the hand cannoneers actually in the fight a bit earlier somewhere, entirely certain where, maybe here. That we have seen a bit earlier, just kinda didn't realize that blue almost lost everything. No, and therefore that means that we also could be using maybe some kind of halberdiers from somebody. Maybe camels even, if the Turk is gonna be able to boom up slightly. That's a bit of a actually tough order for him. He's getting 2 TCs, considering and continuing rather still with the hand cannoneers. But the problem will be that the Mangurai will be countering him harder and harder. So I'm thinking this is actually not a terrible idea, just to be trying to switch the attention a bit elsewhere. So that maybe there's not gonna be too much of a chance on maybe some counterattack against Mattaphract himself. Because I'm thinking he's in a bit of a fragile state of gameplay currently. So not trying to... Oh, well. Sneaky. Sneaky, trying to get back. Nope, you're not gonna be allowed to do so, unfortunately for you. But, well, all the way here to the back, nothing much here so far. This is right now what I was mentioning a bit earlier, that he had to be going for the free space in between the bases. As you can see, yellow, no. Already blocking him there, though, anyway. Just kinda imagining if he had something like Earthquake from Age of Mythology. To be just like insta-housing maybe Bushido, and you'll be having problem at the pop limit for at least a moment. But currently the elephants are gonna be already decently upgraded for the Bengali. As you have the pikes. No! Oh, come on. You know what you need to do, and right now he's actually going for that. He's gonna be getting conscription, pikes, and also Mahayana rather. So that he's gonna be having a bit more actual population limit for the army. Currently having 47 elephants, 41 Mangurai, or the Mangurai for Batto. And then we do have Mankaur at 50 paladins, Maashaw at 60 paladins. That's a lot of paladins. It's like 120 paladins in overall. That's a very scary number, especially if you consider that the halberdiers are coming up from PotatoBro as the Spanish, so he's gonna be tasked with that. No, kind of logically. If the others were going for the cavalry and had the upgrades, who else is it going to be? Then PotatoBro with the Spanish and a quite nice tech tree, which includes almost everything besides archers and their upgrades. Yeah, this is gonna be actually fairly... I think maybe there's gonna be even game deciding battle in like a minute. Come on. No. Run back immediately. You can see he's at least trying to kind of split formation so that he's gonna be dodging some of the projectiles. Right now this is not a bad battle, but he was just like way too hasty in there. Should have been waiting for a much better fight. As you can see right now, green therefore is gonna be demolishing the red base in the meantime. As halberdiers have been eliminated, we do have about 30 left. He needs to be getting the halberdier slot closer to the battlefield. He's not too far away, but still, getting maybe the barracks even forward of the castle wouldn't be such a terrible result. As you can see, we haven't entirely lost that many units here. Bushido still at 60, Batto at still 50, so the halberdiers almost as if they weren't there. Do they have upgrades? They do. Missing just the blast furnace, which is right now getting researched. But the problem is that red has been eliminated as well. He's down to 25 villages. Those paladins just kinda did a number on him. Completely and utterly. You can see just like absolutely everything destroyed. All the TCs, all the echo gone. So it's going to be right now 4 versus 2. Now let's see who's gonna be the next victim therefore. As we are seeing, not much of a, maybe a bit of a development by Batto in the middle of the map. Let's gonna have a look at that. Yeah. Oh, Hussar raiding coming forward with castle to get resources. You can see that the orange base is gonna be still open. Obviously plenty resources here. So this is something that still Team Masvi needs to be somewhat trying to control. As unfortunately castle for the Turk is not gonna get finished at 90%. So that's a good timing and slightly lucky for Batto, but still good. As it seems like that maybe there's gonna be a trouble for blue. As he's trying to set up with a few hand cannoneers and bombards to the top side. But unfortunately he's gonna be needing some assistance in his base. And it looks like that it's going to be coming in, well, Mankaur and his Hussars. Ah well, Hussars are gonna be, I guess, okay. Gonna be there for already combining paladins with that, or no. He's going straight Hussars actually by now. He shouldn't be out of gold that quickly. No, he isn't. Still having 2000 gold, so he should be kind of like having half and half. But currently seems to be waiting maybe for the investment into the trade a bit more. Hussars, of course, also for Mattaphract. This castle almost seems like he's not even realizing actually how serious the situation is here. We'll be building it with all the villages here as soon as possible. Because you can say now the Mongorai, they're gonna be still cleaning the Hussars in a fairly orderly fashion here. Even though, of course, the spam is gonna be somewhat real. And also right now Purple needs to be getting a bit more military buildings to the front, not only the siege workshop. Bushido trying to secure the gold. But looking at Teal, yeah, he's gonna be having a bit of a different idea about the survival rate of the villages here for his opponents. By the way, Graham is down to 4 villages. So he's gonna be right now, and he's tasting what FunkeF felt about 20 minutes ago. Mangorai are gonna be fully upgraded, it looks like. Yes, economy also nice. For yellow, he's gonna be having also quite a bit excellent economy. Maybe just the base gold would be nice to have, as it's a dirt cheap upgrade, so no reason why not to have that. Look at the stables, how many he has. Good. Looking good and nice, but it seems like the base is gonna be somewhat actually secure, at least for the extra resources. But question is how long that's gonna be lasting. Looking at PotatoBro and trying to help himself into some further kills. And you can see he's gonna be doing some guard duty over the base here. You can see even some conquistadors still left, but they are not gonna be too relevant, as the middle is gonna be much more important with further castles coming from Maashaw. Just to be having some map control, we could just as well go and maybe even should go for some bombard towers, frankly. As they will be doing quite an excellent job against the elephants. No, practically everything, because of their high damage. So maybe that could be some kind of plan. He's getting chemistry, and maybe that's an idea. Unless he's upgrading it only just to be increasing the damage output of the castles. Maybe. Maybe that's also the idea behind it all. But nonetheless, much more important message is that Mankaur managed to help Mattaphract enough that he wasn't breached and therefore he wasn't eliminated from the game. So he can be continuing, maybe getting some echo. He's already at 80. With his teammates at 110 to 140, whereas the opponents 100 and 110 for Bushido and Batto. And you can see Graham, of course, doesn't exist. FunkeF slightly trying to get back, but it's still taking ages for him, unfortunately, because, yeah, well, he was just completely eliminated, and it's always hard when he even cannot be slung in any kind of way. So this is gonna be a good result for Teal, whereas in the orange base, it seems like we're gonna be going for, well, the other resources. So far, Graham hasn't entirely secured it. Thinking they should have been doing a bit more effort on that and taking a bit more effort for this, but nonetheless seems like it all is gonna be fine here on the left flank currently. And let's therefore go to the main battlefield yet again, as we also need the halberdiers. They seem to have been already redirected by PotatoBro into a bit of assistance to all the paladins here. As you can see, Maashaw 40 paladins. Mankaur is gonna be down to only like 20 hussars probably. Right now he's getting some palace as well. Then we do have 70 units for Potato, which is gonna be halbs. And about nothing from Mattaphract. He's having like 8 units. Nothing really too relevant in that. And for the opponent, you can see that even Bushido unfortunately ran out of steam. You can see he's having no gold currently. So he's down to only 3 units, and we are left basically with 60 Hussars / Mangurai. And that's where, unfortunately, the game is going to be there for maybe ending. No, we do have disconnection, but frankly the game is done. So I do wonder what's gonna happen here. Maybe they're just gonna be right now trying to... Yeah, one of their team crashed. Okay, PotatoBro. But this game is done. They can maybe try to restore it, but in my honest opinion, it's waste of time. But seems like they are gonna be hoping for a resolution. I mean, like, if it's maybe like the second game for them, and they will be getting eliminated, then
Yes.
it's making sense to hope for a miracle. So yeah, they're gonna be doing that, and I guess you're gonna be still in for a bit of arena action, but probably like a minute or two. Seems like it's not even too many Mangurai for Batto anymore.
Yes.
Really not sure what they want to be restarting for, because they already, at this point we are at 47 minutes, which means also no trade for them. So they are dead. But yeah, they definitely do have the right. They are not the ones with the drop, and therefore it's quite a bit of an okay thing to be right now going for the restore. So I guess that's gonna be taking a bit longer before they all get into the game room, so you can have a look at some of the upgrades and whatnot. We're gonna be doing that after the game is gonna be finished anyway, again properly, but you can just gonna have some kind of quick look. Look at actually FunkeF, how far he got into the economical upgrades even. Currently at 78 villages. Oh, of course, this was what he was having already before. He's still in the Castle Age. So is Gram, by the way, in the Castle Age. He never managed to reach the Imperial Age with how he committed through Castle. Unfortunately, also the economical upgrades suffered from that. For Yellow, we have shown he was upgraded pretty damn well. Does he have the pikes? Yeah, he did. Yeah, just right now remember. When we were talking about it the first time, then he was just clicking all three from the castle in. Of course. No, and the Mongol. That's gonna be also quite a bit alright what he has there. Just missing the attacking upgrades for the Hussars. Uniche upgraded the castles. Nice. No, Mattaphract could be still investing, for example, into handcart. That wouldn't be such a terrible thing. Also getting at least the base gold, but by now, no. If he's gonna be already committing into the Hussars, it's not too needed. You can see right now missing husbandry, unfortunately. And also the attacking upgrade still, but he's gonna just get in the ground under his feet properly. After that really good performance in the early stages with his end cannons. Cuman is going to be, missing those two. But he was kinda on a timer there as well, with that early push and then the paladins and whatnot. But might want to be introducing those two anyway, for increased efficiency on the economy and therefore having maybe more pop limit into the Hussars and paladins. He was having masons as well. Teuton is missing the same again. I mean, like, at minimum 2-man saw is something that you should be aiming for kind of purposefully. The crop rotation is usually kind of so-so. In 1v1s you often don't get those, because the reason for that is simple, because the time in which it will be paying back is quite often beyond the normal time span of the game. Because if you're gonna be considering normal game 30 to 40 minutes, then return on investment on the crop rotation is kind of like very often beyond those 40 minutes. But as soon as the game gets a bit longer, then it's obviously a good upgrade to have as well. And if you do have something like Arena, then it's even more likely that it's gonna be long. So should be more thinking about the Imperial Age upgrades to include them, because they are way more likely to be paying for themselves. Then you can see the Spanish. He did invest into the 2-man saw. Hand cannons, having just the first armor for them, if he wants to be making them in the first place, but he's rather into halberdiers. It's a much better unit for him. Okay, current units, for example, literally just Batto is alive at 58 for Team Masve. That means Argentina G. You can see 3 for military in there on Bushido. Having some 3 elephants, I guess. But yeah, well, let's probably go through. Not entirely certain if they're gonna be already ready to restore. This one we can be counting after the games are gonna be done. FunkeF, just a few units killed basically by the castle, and I guess the war wagons in the one engagement. It was really shame that they didn't coordinate with Graham. If they coordinated, they maybe even had a chance to beat Mankaur and Mattaphract, thinking they had a good enough army there for at minimum something like a draw. So I'm thinking they unfortunately a bit messed up. No, and it's right now coming back to buy them, of course. Great echo for Mankaur, expected. Maashaw, of course. Batto, it's gonna be lower though, seems to me. Oh, it's kind of similar with Maashaw. And Bushido, approximately same-ish as well with Mankaur. Seem to be having really similar economies in general. Relics early. Therefore already quite a few thousand in there extra. So let's see about the restore. Hopefully I haven't missed it. That would be pretty stupid of me. Seems not. Ah, but yeah, this. Okay. That's all it was. No, worst case scenario, we're just gonna be looking at that from the recording game after if it's gonna be somewhat short. Okay, there we go. So you can be getting back at least into the battlefield to see it. So it wasn't lasting entirely too long. No, and yeah, we are somewhat where we left. So therefore that was also to the bottom green. Overcoming already the purple. As you can see, it's gonna be squad of paladins against hussars. With Mangurai, how many? 28. No, that's not entirely too much anymore. Considering that we are still missing, for example, the attack for the Mongolian hussars. Then obviously the paladins are gonna be having fun time here. But he should be avoiding this fight. Because the Mangurai are gonna be having way too much of a DPS therefore against him. This is not a great fight for him. He obviously is gonna be still winning pretty well. But he's gonna be suffering fairly high losses. As compared to if he would be having some full pop limit against that. You can say it now 190. 40 units in there. No, and Teal is also gonna be coming up. Yeah, of course, he's the last one right now to get demolished currently purple. Do we have something maybe else to be signaling a bit of a comeback? No, just right now that's gonna be grey, controlling enemy resources, like for example the sweet gold, and 160 stone and 333. So at least gonna be some nice number in there. Always enjoy, and that's the case. Like, we're still there for now. Wait, what? Oh, wow, he's actually trying to take down the castle, but frankly, why are they doing it kind of complicated? He just needs to be, literally, they just need to be combining their forces here, both teal and green. And that's also a bit like the psychological, right? Because if they're gonna be just seeing such a huge armies, the opponents, they're just gonna be resigning a bit more readily. As if you're gonna be dosing them with just a bit of army here and there, you kind of like kind of giving them a bit of hope that maybe it's not completely actually lost, the game. And that's, in my opinion, something that maybe could be interesting as far as coaching of the teams, maybe, especially the top level ones. That you need to be also thinking and understanding like the players that you are playing against, and like trying to purposefully tilt them through gameplay, not like being an asshole and flaming them, whatever. That's not what I mean, but through type of gameplay. Because typically somebody like, for example, Tato absolutely hates laming. And if it's allowed in the tournament, then, like, why don't you lame, right? Just gonna, like, lame against him, he's gonna be tilted, maybe gonna be making a mistake. That's absolutely within the rules, and this is maybe, like, a bit of an aspect that's missing slightly. And much more importantly than that kind of, like, exact example, it's about just kind of the type of gameplay. And right now what I was just mentioning, just kind of create situations that look completely impossible for the opponent and incredibly overwhelming. Because it's gonna be more motivating the opponent to resign than if he's gonna be just gonna piecemeal seeing some small pieces of the armies. Even though the result is gonna be the same, we can just gonna first make the game shorter, so therefore eliminate risk of messing up, and second, just like the player is gonna be not entirely on the toppest kind of like a frame of mind, because some people are gonna be good if they're gonna be having shorter games, some people are gonna be better if they have long games, some people just gonna do have different like psychology, different mental things going on for them. So yeah, let's see if maybe one of those days you're gonna be getting even into that kind of territory. But yeah, that's right, Batna gonna be there for a few more extra minutes of the arena to finish it all, and that is going to be there for GG, also called by all the players from Team Maashaw from Argentina G, and the victory is going to be achieved for United Kingdom E on arena. So let's therefore do the score 1-0 for them. And let's have a look on some statistics, I imagine. Okay, so therefore, what do we right now look at? I guess just basically straight the statistics, the villages and everything we have already seen. So that's not much of a reason to be looking at that again. Just kind of like some random checks across the bases. And there is something curious to watch. Doesn't seem so. You can see it now, even Grey, for example, moving from the other side. Trying to just make sure that FunkeF is not gonna be able to develop back into the base. No, and let's therefore look at the stats. You can see even some Rams coming actually forward in the end by Mankaur. You haven't really seen too many of them before. Just like literally at the very end, just to be helping chew through all the buildings. So it doesn't have to be done by the cavalry all the time. Sorry. What was Bushido getting back? Ah, halberdiers. Yeah, he had to be going for something that doesn't include gold, because he was out of gold by that time already. You can see fully upgraded halberdiers, pretty much. All for the Bengalis fully upgraded, because obviously they don't have the last armor. But yeah, let's therefore have a look at the statistics at the very end of the game. And what do we see here? No, Batto, not surprisingly, is actually in the end gonna be still the victor. They were really playing quite excellent pockets with Bushido. But yeah, well, the problem was that it was kinda bought out by the fact that their flanks died. So that's why they were having such a good game. But it was really good push by Mattaphract and Mankaur against FunkeF. That was one of the cleaner actually pushes you could have seen with the Turk fast Imperial Age, supported by decent horses. But as you mentioned, just kind of better coordination between FunkeF and Gram maybe could have been resulted into the bit of a different outcome of that early stage, and therefore of maybe even the whole game. So on the military, therefore, most kills for Mankaur in the end, the Paladinos, Batto with the especially Mangurai. But you can see Bushido with the elephants getting also tons. That's gonna be millions of the halberdiers there mostly. That's what he was getting the kills against. For example, Maashaw is having curiously low units killed. Looking at these paladins with even increased melee resistance. No, and on the resources therefore, so kinda tough to see you to compare, because the flanks are somewhat irrelevant, because there are gonna be some huge differences, right, because they just got killed. With Graham versus Potato, no, that's what, 22 and 22, 44, 45, and what is it, 45 and 8. So it's like 53,000 resources more for Potato than for Graham. You can just kinda see how much of a difference it makes if you're gonna be like half a game not there. So how many resources you gather in half a game with all the upgrades. It's maybe what could be gleaned from the difference. No, and on the other side, it's gonna be similar between Mattaphract and FunkeF. Maybe Mattaphract is gonna be having a lower advantage as he was And long term and long time keeping himself on lower numbers in there. Trying to still keep himself in the fight until he realized he's not having anything to add there against the elephants and Mangurai. So it's gonna be 4, 5, it's 9, 10, and 5. So it's gonna be 15,000 more for Mattaphract. No, and now it's gonna be getting a bit more interesting. So Batto versus, I guess, Mankaur probably, as they were on the same flank and having some longer engagements against each other. So that's gonna be Mankaur at, that's 12, 10,000, 8,000, and 8,000, and what is it, 8? So like 16,000 resources more for Mankaur than for Batto. Nice. Definitely not from trade yet. No, and then Maashaw versus Bushido. That's gonna be 2,000, 23, 10,000 to the bottom. And 3, so it's gonna be 7,000 resources approximately more for Bushido. 7 or, what is it, 6.5. Somewhat along those lines. Also not much of a difference. And exactly enough for what they needed. Okay, upgrades, Maashaw and Batto. Interesting that Maashaw is gonna be having such a high research count. I mean, like, he was only cavalry, right? He was probably upgrading, of course, into castles. Had to be there for getting some archer upgrades effectively. Still a bit curiously high. And that Bushido wasn't able to get closer because he was having also the halberdiers at the end. At 30 seems kind of low. Bit unexpectedly so. With society, we have already seen before the few relics in there. And I guess that's gonna be there for the GG. You can see FunkeF, he managed to rebuild his economy fairly okay into 80. Gram, that was the max where he was. Then of course he got destroyed. It was actually fairly nicely played in there. Maashaw and Mattaphract with PotatoBro basically just keeping Bushido and Batto busy. Whereas Mankaur just kind of ran into the red base and completely eliminated the opponent in 2 minutes. It's like reduced Gram to 15 villages or whatnot. Then it even fell to 4. Can see right now. Just like how sudden it was. Just completely demolished. Seems right now Orange was the same. And cannot take in place of his teammate, unfortunately. But GG.